In this video, we're going to review how to solve, and we're going to kind of start from the beginning and bring it on up. These are notes that we took in class on our own piece of paper. So get your own piece of paper out. And if this video is going a little bit faster than you intended, then you can go ahead and hit pause while you're doing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do steps. So pause if you need to. We're going to go ahead and write steps on our paper. So the steps for solving are step 1, if we can, I need you to distribute. If possible, you need to distribute. Step 2, we are going to combine like terms, which sometimes we abbreviate to CLT, combine like terms on both sides. Okay. Step 3, we're going to get variables, or you could write letters there, to one side. And then step 4, this is like your basic solve, which is where we're going to start with. Okay, so we're going to slowly add to this as we go. So pause if you need to finish writing that. We'll keep going here. So level 1 is just basic solving. So this is where we're solving for a letter. There's no distribution. There's no combining like terms. There's not letters on both sides of the equation. So we're just solving. So in this situation, we're going to solve for n, which means I need to kick out the 2 and the 12, but we're going to kick out the 12 first. Some of y'all like drawing a line here. That's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do, or you don't have to have that line and you can just not include it. Your choice. So the opposite of subtracting 12 is we add 12 on both sides. This goes away. 2n equals 40 plus 12 becomes 52. And if you need to use a calculator, that's fine. Then we divide by 2. The reason we're dividing is side by side here means multiplied. That means multiplied by 2. So the opposite is dividing by 2. Excuse that right there. Good. So then n equals 52 divided by 2 would be 26. Then again, you can use a calculator and make that happen there. Okay? So good old 26. Perfect. So you can try to pause and do the one on the right, or we can just do it together. So pause if you want to try to attempt it on your own. If not, we'll do it together right now. So in this situation, we're solving for a. We have this -4 here and this +8. So I'm going to get rid of the 8 first because that 4 is attached to the a. Now I know there's a subtraction symbol here, but this 8 right here, that is a +8. So how I get rid of a +8 is I subtract 8 on both sides. That goes away. 20 minus 8 is 12. There we go. And then again, this means multiplication. So the opposite of that is to divide by -4. You can use a calculator if you need to. 12 divided by -4 is -3. Like that. And if you want to box it like that, you can. That makes my soul sad. I don't know why. I like having the letter in front. So I always rewrite it to look like that. But it's the same thing. It's not more correct. Okay? So that's basic level of solving. Let's add a little bit to that. Let's make it a little more complicated. Okay? So write these down if you need to. You can pause. Again, if I go to my steps, the first step is to distribute. If I look here, there's no distribution. There's no parentheses. The second step is to combine like terms. Okay? So if I go here, I'll notice there's a lot of stuff on this left side that I can combine. So I'm going to start doing that. Here is a 3x. Can I combine 3x with anything? Yes, that 4x. And since it's a positive 4x, we're going to add it. A lot of kids think that, okay, I'm going to subtract 4x over here because it's the opposite, but we don't do that because they're on the same, they're on the same side. And by same side, I mean like this is the equal sign. So if they're on the same side, we just do the same thing. 3x plus 4x is 7x. And then these guys, these numbers by themselves, we call these constants. So these are just numbers by ourselves and I can combine them. If you want to use your calculator, you can. This is -12 plus 4. So -12 plus 4 would be -8 equals 6. So I put -8 because it's a negative number. And then I just go to my basic solving. I add 8. 7x equals 6 plus 8 is 14. And then I divide by 7 just like normal. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Cute, right? Okay, so let's try that again. If you need to, if you want to pause and do it on your own first, go for it. If not, just listen to me. Since there's just a number on this side, I obviously can't subtract it or combine it with anything. So we're just going to leave that alone. Here's an a on this side, negative 2a. Are there any other a's on that side? Yes, that negative 3. So I'm going to combine those. If you want to draw your line, you can. I'm going to leave this 32 down here. In your calculator or in your head, negative 2 minus 3 becomes negative 5a. Then I have the 7, but there's no other constants or numbers by itself. So I'm just going to throw a plus 7 over here because I can't combine it with anything else. Okay? From there, it's just basic solving. I'm solving for a. I'm going to get rid of this 7 by subtracting 7. Boop. 32 minus 7 is 25. Again, if you need to use your calculator, that's perfectly fine. Then we divide by negative 5. And 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. You can do that, but again, that makes me sad. I do it, a equals negative 5. But again, does not matter. Okay? So the level 1 is just like the basic solving. Level 2 is where we're combining like terms. Okay? Level 3, we're going to look at some distribution. Okay? So the first step is if you see these parentheses here, we're going to want you to go ahead and distribute. Pause if you need to write this down. If not, we're going to go ahead. When you see those parentheses, that means multiplication. And you probably remember from last year where we would draw these little arrows on the inside. Okay? And we multiply. So let's go ahead and multiply those things together. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 2 times a positive 5 is negative 10. And then this h comes down. Equals 38. Okay? Always be careful there, because for example, if this were a negative 5, a negative times a negative would give me a positive number there. So you just always got to be careful with that. Okay? And then since I did that, those parentheses go away. There's nothing I can combine on this side. There's nothing I can combine on that side. So then it's just our regular solving. I'm solving for h. I'm going to get rid of this 8 first. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Perfect. That goes away. Negative 10h equals 38 plus 8 becomes 46. And then you divide by negative 10. This is going to become a decimal and it's going to be okay. H equals, I'm just going to write, if you put in your calculator, you'll get negative 4.6. That's fine. Or you probably get like 23/5. That would also be correct, but I'm just going to do the decimal for now. Okay? So same on the right side. Pause if you want to do it by yourself. If not, let's do it together. So we'll distribute. 7 times k is 7k. 7 times 4, is 28. There's nothing to combine on either side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 28 here. Perfect. If you need to use your calculator, you perfectly can, but 70 minus 28 would be 42. There we go. Then we divide by 7. And 42 divided by 7 is 6. I'm not going to rewrite it, but that does make me a little sad, but it's correct. Okay? So level 1 is just like the basic stuff that we've been reviewing. Level 2, we combine like terms before we do anything like that. Level 3, we distribute and then we solve. Level 4 is where we distribute and then combine like terms. This is where it can definitely get a little bit messy and we have to use our solving strategies. So go ahead and write these down. Pause if you need to. So we're going to follow our steps. And what I mean by that is on our steps, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute. So we're going to distribute first. Some kids will try to like add this first. Do not do that, okay? We have to do distribution first. So on this guy, that means I am going to distribute this 3 over here. And then there's nothing over here to distribute, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so this negative 5 just comes down. Positive 3 times x is a positive 3x. Positive 3 times negative 12 is, sorry guys, is negative 36. And then I just rewrite this. So all I did was distribute. The next step, if I look on my step list, is combine like terms. Combine like terms. So on this left side, I have 3x but I have no other x's. So I'm just going to rewrite 3x. But I do have these constants here, -5 and -36. So you can use your calculator or your head and say -5 minus -36, or sorry, -5 minus 36, and you should get -41 was -26. Then it's just like normal. So step 1 was we distributed, step 2 we combine like terms, and then now we're back to an easier equation. So we add the 41 on both sides to make that go away. I have 3x equals -26 plus 41 would be a +15. Again, use your calculators. It's fine. -26 plus 41. I would project that for you on this screen, but I don't have a calculator on this computer. So then we divide by 3. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. Perfection. Okay? So pause and try to do the right one on your own. If not, watch when I do it. Okay? Step 1, I'm going to distribute. 2 times 2 would be 4m. 2 times 1 would be a +2. And then I just bring everything else down. Step 2 is to combine like terms. I can combine these guys. 4m minus 3m is 1m. You can write 1m, or I'm just going to put m. And then this +2, there's nothing on that side, so I'm just going to put +2 equals 10. And then I just solve. So we're slowly making a complicated equation into much simpler terms. So m equals 8. Okay? So that's distributing and then combining like terms. Always follow that pattern. Distribute first, then combine like terms. The last thing we need to talk about is variables on both sides. Okay? So oftentimes we're going to see x's or a's or whatever on both sides of that equal sign. Okay? Meaning if I were to draw that line there, they're on both sides of that line. Okay? So the steps still follow. Step 1 is distribute. If there's any distribution, we do that first. If I look at this first example, we have no distribution. I don't have to worry about that. The second thing is to combine like terms, CLT. If I look here, there's nothing I can combine over here, and there's nothing I can combine over here. So there's no combining like terms for me. So then step 3 is we do variables to one side, meaning I either get my letters to the left side or I get my letters to the right side. What that looks like is I either have to bring this 4x over here or I have to bring this 8x over here. And it does not matter. There's not one that's more correct than the other. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and bring my 4x over here. The opposite of a +4x is -4x because we're moving that whole thing on both sides. This goes away and I'm left with 7 equals 8x minus 4x is still 4x because 8 minus 4 is 4. And they're both x's, so the x comes down. And then I bring this -21 down. Once I do that, it's just basic solving. I add my 21. 7 plus 21 is 28. And then I divide by 4. You'll notice this gets very repetitive. And 28 divided by 4 in your head or in your calculator is 7. Okay? Gorgeous. Let's do the one on the right. Step 1 is to distribute. There's no distribution, so we're good to go. Step 2 is to combine like terms, which I absolutely can do. 2x plus 8x is 10x. And then I can also combine these numbers right here. +15 minus 8 is a +7. So we're going to put +7 because it's a +7. Perfect. Then we subtract 7 on both sides. 10x comes down. 57 minus 7 is 50. Divide by 10. X equals 10. Perfect. Okay? So that's multiple levels of solving. You should have seen all of that before. That doesn't mean that you're an expert at it though. So there you go. Make sure we know these steps in order and then we'll keep practicing. Great job, guys.